Liana Crest stared out of the small window of the crowded apartment she called home. The city lights flickered far below like tiny stars, but none of them felt warm or hopeful. Her life had been a long struggle, working 2 jobs, barely making rent and caring for her sick mother. Every day was a battle to survive. She wiped a tear from her cheek. The future looked empty. She wanted more peace, comfort, a chance to live without worry, but those dreams felt far away. The world had changed. The rich lived in towers of glass and steel, while the poor fought for scraps in the streets. One evening, her phone buzzed with a message that made her heart stop. It was from a man named Darian Vale, a name she had heard only in whispers. Darian was a billionaire, one of the richest men on earth. He was cold and distant in public, known for his power and secrets. But he had offered her a chance, a contract. Marriage. In exchange for her hand, he promised wealth, safety, and a new life. Liana thought hard. Could she trust him? Was this just another trap? But what choice did she have? She could keep struggling in a world that seemed to hate her, or she could accept his offer and step into the unknown. The next day, dressed in her best clothes, she entered the tall glass building where Darian's office waited. The lobby was quiet and spotless, full of strange machines and glowing screens. People barely noticed her as she was led to a large room where Darian sat behind a massive desk. Darian Vale was taller than she expected, with sharp eyes that seemed to see through her. He spoke softly but firmly. "This contract is simple. You will marry me. You will live in my penthouse. You will not ask questions, and I will provide everything you need." Liana nodded, feeling a mix of fear and hope. "Why me?" she asked. Darian did not answer. Instead, he slid a thin tablet across the desk. "Sign here." With trembling hands, Liana signed her name. The contract was official. From this day on, her life would change forever. The next morning, Liana stood before the enormous doors of Darian's penthouse. It was on the top floor of one of the tallest skyscrapers in the city. The doors opened silently, revealing a bright and empty space filled with light and glass walls that showed the city far below. Liana took a deep breath. This was her new home, but it felt strange and cold. Darian was not there to greet her. Instead, a quiet housekeeper showed her around and left her alone. She explored room after room, large living spaces, a kitchen with machines she had never seen, and a bedroom so big it swallowed her whole. But it was all so empty. No pictures, no warmth, no signs of life. Days passed. Darian was mostly absent, busy with his business. He spoke to her rarely, always polite but distant. Liana felt like a guest in a museum, admired but not truly welcomed. Still, she tried to adjust. She cooked meals with the strange machines, learned how to use the house systems, and practiced walking through the endless halls. She missed her old life but did not regret the choice she made. One night, she heard a soft noise like a whisper coming from the walls. Curious, she followed the sound to a small door hidden behind a curtain. The door was locked, but a strange blue light leaked from the edges. Liana's heart beat faster. Why would Darian keep a secret room in his home? She looked around to be sure no one was watching, then carefully touched the lock. To her surprise, the door slid open with a soft hiss. Inside was a small room filled with screens and machines blinking with light. In the center stood a device that looked like a globe of shining metal, floating above a pedestal. On the wall, a screen showed a map of stars far away from Earth. The words, "Origin, Earth, Subject Alpha," glowed beneath the map. Liana gasped. What was this place? What secret was Darian hiding? Before she could explore more, she heard footsteps. She quickly closed the door and returned to her room, heart pounding. Darian appeared in the hall. He looked at her with surprise but not anger. "I see you found the secret room," he said quietly. Liana swallowed her fear. "What is this place? Who are you really?" Darian sighed. his eyes softening for a moment. "I cannot explain everything yet. But you should know this: marriage is more than a contract. It is protection. For both of us." Liana nodded slowly, unsure what to believe. But something in Darian's voice told her he was not a simple man. There was more to his story, something bigger, something beyond her understanding. That night, Liana lay awake in the empty penthouse, staring at the ceiling. She had married a stranger for money, but now she wondered if she had married a mystery. She did not know what the future held, but one thing was certain: her life had changed forever. Liana woke up the next morning feeling restless. The memory of the secret room and the strange star map kept swirling in her mind like a puzzle she couldn't solve. She got out of bed and looked around the large penthouse once more. The bright sunlight filled the glass walls, but the room still felt cold and empty. She missed the noise of the city and the warmth of her small apartment, but she knew she could never go back. After breakfast, Liana decided to explore the mansion more carefully. She wanted to understand the place she now called home. Walking through the hallways, she noticed how quiet everything was. The walls seemed to absorb sound, making her footsteps echo softly. The house felt like it was holding its breath, waiting for something. As she passed the rooms, Liana saw many locked doors. Some were ordinary closets, but others were sealed with complicated electronic locks. She wondered what secrets were hidden behind them. Why would Darian keep so many locked rooms? Liana's curiosity grew. She decided to search for clues about Darian's life. Maybe understanding him would help her feel less alone. She went to the large study on the second floor. The room was filled with books, but most of them were about business, finance, or technology, things Liana barely understood. On a small table, she found a photo album. The pictures showed Darian at different ages, but he looked the same in all of them. No lines, no signs of growing older. The people around him, however, changed with time. Liana flipped through the pages, her heart pounding. How could someone stay so young for so long? Suddenly, she heard a soft noise behind her. She turned quickly and saw Darian standing in the doorway. His face was calm but serious. "You shouldn't be in here," he said quietly. "I'm sorry," Liana replied. "I just wanted to know more about you. This place feels like a mystery." Darian walked closer, his eyes softer than before. "You have a curious mind. That is good. But some things are better left alone, at least for now." Liana nodded, but didn't want to give up. "Why do you keep so many doors locked? What are you hiding?" Darian sighed. "I hide because I must. The world is not as safe as it seems. There are those who would take what I have, and I cannot let that happen." Liana looked at him, confused. "What do you have?" Darian hesitated. Then, in a low voice, he said, "Knowledge, power, secrets that could change the future of Earth." Liana's eyes widened. She wanted to ask more, but Darian turned away and left the room. She was left alone with her questions. Over the next few days, Liana tried to live a normal life in the mansion. She learned to use the advanced technology in the kitchen, and even found a small garden on the rooftop filled with strange plants. But at night, the mansion changed. One evening, as the city lights glittered below, Liana noticed flickering blue lights coming from the hallway near the secret room. The lights pulsed softly, like a heartbeat. She felt drawn to them. Slowly, she walked toward the door she had discovered earlier. The blue light escaped from the edges again. Her hand trembled as she reached out to touch the handle. Suddenly, the door slid open without a sound. Inside, the room was darker than before. Floating globes still shone in the center, but now there were more screens showing strange symbols and moving shapes. The star map had changed. It now showed an unknown constellation blinking in red. Liana stepped inside carefully. The air felt cooler, and a soft hum filled the space. She reached out and touched the floating globe. A sudden vision flashed before her eyes, bright stars, glowing ships, and a voice speaking in a language she could not understand. The vision faded as quickly as it came. Liana gasped and stepped back. What was this place? What power did Darian hold? A soft voice behind her made her turn. It was Darian. "You have been here again," he said calmly. "You are more brave than I expected." Liana looked at him, searching his face. "Why don't you tell me what all this means? Why are you hiding all these things from me?" Darian sighed deeply. "Because you are not ready. This knowledge is dangerous. It can change everything about how you see the world." "But I want to understand," Liana said. "I married you, even if it was for money at first. But now, I want to know the truth." Darian looked at her for a long moment. Then, he nodded slowly. "Very well. But you must promise to keep this secret. If the wrong people find out, it could bring disaster." Liana promised without hesitation. Darian led her to a chair in the room and pressed a button on a panel. The floating globe changed to a soft blue, and the screens displayed a message. "This," he said, "is not just a home, it is a gateway. I am not just a businessman. I am the last of a line, an enhanced human designed to protect Earth from dangers beyond this world." Liana blinked in surprise. "Enhanced human? What does that mean?" Darian explained. "Many years ago, a group of aliens visited Earth. They gave us knowledge and technology beyond what humans had before. I was chosen as the first to receive their gifts. They called me Subject Alpha. I have lived for centuries, learning and growing." Liana struggled to believe him. "Centuries? How is that possible?" "The alien technology slowed my aging. I gained strength, speed, and knowledge that no normal human has. But I also gained enemies, those who want to control this power." Liana looked at him with new respect. This was not the cold billionaire she had met. This was a guardian with a heavy burden. "Why did you marry me then?" she asked. Darian smiled faintly. "Because in this world, even power needs protection. A marriage contract gives me legal safety. And I wanted someone I could trust." Liana's heart softened. She realized their relationship was more than money and contracts. It was a fragile trust built on secrets and hope. Over the next hours, Darian showed her more of the technology hidden beneath the mansion. There were devices to scan the skies, communicate with distant worlds, and protect Earth from unseen threats. Liana felt a mix of fear and excitement. Her life had changed in ways she never imagined. The man she married was not just rich, he was a link to something much bigger. As the night grew deep, Liana looked out at the city from the glowing windows. She no longer felt alone or scared. She felt ready to face whatever came next with Darian by her side. The mansion of whispers had revealed its secrets, and Liana knew her journey had only just begun. After the conversation in the secret room, Liana's mind was full of questions she couldn't stop thinking about. Darian was not just a billionaire. He was something extraordinary, an enhanced human called Subject Alpha. She wanted to learn more, but she also felt a little afraid. What else was he hiding, and why? One evening, while Darian was away at a business meeting, Liana decided to explore the mansion again. She remembered the locked doors in the hallways and wondered if there might be another secret. The mansion felt quiet and strange when she walked alone. The long corridors seemed to stretch farther than before. She reached the large main hallway on the first floor and noticed a faint humming sound coming from beneath the floor. Curious, she looked for a way down. Near the grand staircase, she found a small panel hidden in the wall. It was nearly invisible, but when she touched it, a hidden door slid open slowly, revealing a narrow stairway leading downward. Heart pounding, Liana took a deep breath and began to descend. The stairs led to a dimly lit underground lab filled with strange machines, glowing tubes, and walls covered with digital maps and star charts. The air was cooler here, and the hum of electronics filled the space. Liana felt like she had stepped into another world, a secret world where science and mystery mixed. In the center of the lab stood a large glass chamber with soft blue light. Inside the chamber was a sleek silver pod. Liana stepped closer and saw a faint outline of a figure resting inside. Suddenly, the pod opened with a hiss, and Darian stepped out. Liana gasped, "You're here. I didn't expect anyone." Darian smiled gently. "I returned earlier than I thought. I see you found my lab." "I did," Liana said, her eyes wide. "What is all this?" Darian motioned for her to follow him. "This lab is where I keep the truth of who I am. This is where I continue the work of the aliens who created me." Liana looked around, fascinated. "What kind of work?" Darian explained. "The aliens gave me gifts, knowledge about the stars, about life beyond Earth, and ways to protect our planet. I study these things here, looking for signs of danger or hope." He walked over to a large screen and touched it. Images of distant galaxies and unknown worlds appeared. "The universe is vast, and Earth is not alone. But we are fragile. I was created to guard humanity from threats no one else can see." Liana felt a mix of wonder and fear. The man she married was part of something much bigger than she had ever imagined. She asked softly, "Why did the aliens choose you?" Darian looked at her, his eyes serious. "Because I am human. But not just human, I am enhanced. I carry their knowledge and power, but I also carry their responsibility." Liana stepped closer. "What kind of responsibility?" "To protect Earth from harm. To be ready if the universe tries to change us." The room was filled with a quiet tension. Liana realized Darian's life was not easy. He was lonely, carrying secrets heavier than any person should. Suddenly, a small alarm beeped from a console. Darian checked the screen and frowned. "There is a signal, something approaching Earth. I need to prepare." Liana's heart raced. "What is it?" Darian shook his head. "I don't know yet, but it may be why I have stayed hidden for so long." She nodded. "Can I help?" Darian looked at her, surprised. "You want to help?" "Yes," Liana said firmly. "I may not be enhanced, but I want to stand with you. For the first time." Darian's guarded expression softened. "Very well. I will teach you what I can." Over the next days, Darian showed Liana how to use the lab's equipment. She learned to read star maps, interpret signals, and understand alien languages through simple codes. Her natural curiosity and determination impressed him. Together, they worked late into the night. Liana saw a new side of Darian, patient, kind, and hopeful. She felt their bond growing beyond the contract. One night, as they studied a strange star system, a message appeared on the main screen. It was a warning, a distant cosmic event heading toward Earth. Darian's face grew serious. "This is the danger I feared. If it reaches us, it could change everything." Liana looked at him, steady and brave. "Then we must be ready. Together," Darian smiled, a rare warmth in his eyes. "Yes, together." That night, the mansion no longer felt cold or empty. It was a place of hope, secrets, and new beginnings. And for the first time, Liana knew she was part of something greater than herself, a journey that would change the future of Earth and the stars beyond. The warning on the screen still echoed in Liana's mind as she sat beside Darian in the hidden lab. The soft blue light from the machines made the room feel otherworldly. Darian was quiet, staring at the star charts as if searching for answers. Only he could see. Liana broke the silence. "Darian, you told me you were enhanced, but what does that really mean?" "Who are you?" Darian looked at her, his eyes calm but serious. "It is time you know everything. Not just the facts, but the story of how I came to be." He took a deep breath and began. "Many years ago, more than 100, Maybe even 2 centuries, Earth was a different place. Humans had just started reaching beyond their own planet. It was a time of hope and discovery, but also danger. Then they came. Aliens from a faraway star system, beings of great wisdom and power. They did not arrive to conquer, but to help. They shared technology, knowledge, and dreams of a better future for humanity. I was chosen by them. They called me subject. Alpha, the first human to carry their gift. My body was changed, enhanced with their science. My mind grew stronger, my senses sharper. I was given the task to protect Earth from threats beyond human understanding. But then, something went wrong. The aliens vanished without warning. Their ships disappeared from the skies, and their message stopped. I was left behind alone. Immortal with a mission but no guidance. For centuries, I have lived in the shadows, hiding from those who want to use the power I hold. I built this mansion and lab as my fortress, a place to study, wait, and prepare. Liana listened, amazed and speechless. She looked at Darian with new eyes, not just a rich man, but a guardian of Earth. Why didn't you tell me this before? She asked softly. Darian smiled faintly. Because I needed to know if I could trust you. This secret is not just mine, it is dangerous. It changes everything. Liana reached out and took his hand. I want to help. I don't care about the danger. I want to stand with you. He nodded slowly. There is more. The power I carry is not perfect. It is a mixture of human and alien parts. I am neither fully human nor fully something else. Liana felt a strange sadness in his words. Does that mean you're lonely? Darian looked away. Very lonely. For centuries, I have watched people live and die while I remain unchanged. I have seen families grow and fade, friends come and go, but I have never been part of it. Liana squeezed his hand. You're not alone anymore. I'm here. For the first time, a small smile crossed Darian's lips. As days passed, Liana learned more about the technology and knowledge Darian had gathered. They worked together to decode the alien messages, searching for clues about the cosmic event approaching. Earth, one night, as they studied a complex star system, a new signal appeared on the screens. It was a message from the distant aliens, a warning and a call for help. Darian's face grew serious. This message confirms the danger. Something is coming toward Earth, something powerful and unknown. Liana asked, what can we do? Darian looked at her. I can try to stop it, but I will need your help. You have something I do not, your humanity. Liana was surprised. Me? What can I do? Your mind is different, Darian explained. You have empathy, creativity, and hope, qualities that no enhanced human or machine can replicate. The aliens designed their technology to respond to pure human spirit. Liana smiled, feeling proud and scared at the same time. Then we have a chance. Together, they prepared for what was coming. Darian showed her how to use the alien devices and how to send messages into space. They worked side by side, learning and trusting each other. One evening, while looking at the stars from the rooftop garden, Liana asked, Darian, do you think Earth is ready for what's coming? He looked at the sky, thoughtful. I don't know. But I believe humanity is stronger than anyone realizes. You have no idea how special you really are. Liana felt a warmth in her heart. The cold mansion was no longer just a place of secrets. It was a home where hope grew. As the cosmic event grew closer, Liana and Darian stood together, ready to face the unknown. Their marriage, once a simple contract, had become a bond of trust and courage. And in the silence of the stars, a new story was beginning, one of humans' mysteries and the power of love. Days turned into weeks, and the mansion slowly felt less like a lonely fortress and more like a home. Liana and Darian worked side by side in the hidden lab, studying the alien messages and preparing for the mysterious cosmic event that loomed ever closer. Liana was amazed at how much she was learning. The technology was beyond anything she had ever seen, and the knowledge was vast. Yet, even with all the machines and secrets, what impressed her most was Darien himself. Behind his quiet strength and deep wisdom was a man who carried centuries of loneliness, but also a hope for a better future. One evening, after a long day of work, Liana found Darien standing on the rooftop garden. The city lights stretched out below, and the stars shone brightly above. She joined him, feeling the soft grass beneath her feet and the cool night air on her skin. "You look tired," she said softly. Darien smiled faintly. "I am, but there is no rest when the future is at stake." Liana looked up at the sky. "Do you think we can stop what's coming?" Darien's eyes reflected the stars. "I believe we must try, but it will not be easy." They stood in silence, sharing the quiet moment. For the first time, Liana felt a real connection, not just to Darien, but to the universe itself. As days passed, their work grew more urgent. The cosmic event was closer, and the signals became stronger. Liana noticed changes in Darien. He was less distant, more open. He smiled more, and his eyes held a softness she had never seen before. One night, as they prepared a new message to send into space, Darien looked at Liana and said, "You have changed my life." Liana smiled, feeling warmth in her chest. "I never thought a contract marriage could lead to this." Darien took her hand gently. "Neither did I." Their partnership deepened beyond the lab. Liana began to understand the weight Darien carried, the centuries of isolation, the endless responsibility, and the hope he still held on to. She admired his strength and his kindness beneath the surface. One afternoon, while exploring the mansion, Liana found an old piano in a forgotten room. She sat down and played a simple melody she remembered from her childhood. The music filled the empty space, and soon Darien joined her, humming along. In that moment, the walls of loneliness began to crumble. Music, like their growing trust, brought warmth and life to the cold mansion. Their days became filled with small moments of joy, a shared meal, a quiet conversation, a smile across the room. The contract that once felt like a cage now seemed like a bridge between two people from very different worlds. One evening, Darien invited Liana into the secret room again. The floating globe glowed softly, and the star maps shone with new light. "We have learned much," Darien said. "But there is one more thing you must understand." Liana looked at him, curious. The aliens designed a network, a connection between their worlds and Earth. It can only be activated by two people. One with enhanced abilities like me, and one with pure human spirit like you. Liana's heart quickened. "What does that mean?" "It means you are the key to activating the network. Without you, I cannot complete the mission." Liana felt a mix of fear and pride. She was just an ordinary human, but now she understood how special that was. Darien smiled. "Together we can protect Earth, but it will require trust, courage, and the strongest bond between us." Liana reached out and took his hand. "I'm ready." As they prepared for the final step, their bond grew stronger. They were no longer two strangers bound by a contract. They were partners, united by a shared purpose. The mansion, once silent and cold, was now alive with hope and light. And as the cosmic event approached, Liana and Darien stood together, ready to face whatever the future held. The days passed quickly, and the pressure of the coming cosmic event weighed heavily on both Liana and Darien. The hidden lab had become their world, a place filled with glowing screens, strange machines, and the secrets of distant stars. Together, they worked to unlock the mysteries left by the vanished aliens. One evening, as they studied a newly decoded message, the room suddenly brightened with a soft glow. The main screen lit up with a series of symbols, moving in patterns that neither of them had seen before. "It's a message," Darien said, his voice tense but hopeful. "From the aliens." Liana leaned forward, her eyes wide. What does it say? Darian traced the symbols carefully. It is a warning. A cosmic event is approaching Earth, a wave of energy from a dying star. It will pass close to our planet and could change life as we know it. Liana swallowed hard. Can it be stopped? Darian nodded slowly. Yes, but only if we activate the network the aliens left behind. The network can protect Earth, but it needs both of us. Liana looked at him, determination shining in her eyes. Then let's do it. Darian smiled for the first time in days. There is one more thing. The network will connect us to the alien protectors, beings who watch over many worlds. But activating it means opening ourselves completely, sharing our minds and hearts. It is a bond stronger than anything we have known. Liana felt a flutter of fear and excitement. I trust you. Over the next days, they prepared for the activation. Darian showed Liana how to use the ancient devices. They practiced sending and receiving signals, learning to connect with each other through the strange technology. At night, they talked more openly than ever before. Liana learned about Darian's long history, his hopes and his fears. Darian saw Liana's kindness, strength, and courage. Their connection deepened. One night, as the stars shone brightly outside, they stood together in the secret room. Darian held Liana's hand, and she felt a warmth spread through her body. Are you ready? He asked softly. Liana nodded. Yes. They activated the floating globe and the surrounding devices. A soft hum filled the room as beams of light surrounded them, weaving around their bodies and minds. Suddenly, their thoughts and feelings merged. Liana saw visions of distant galaxies, stars being born, and worlds filled with life. Darian felt her pure human spirit, her hope, empathy, and courage flowing through him. Together, they reached out through the network, sending a powerful signal toward the dying star. For a moment, the room was silent, filled only with the glowing light. Then, the screen showed a response, an image of peaceful, radiant beings. The alien protectors had received their call. Darian smiled with relief. We did it. Earth is safe. Liana looked at him, tears in her eyes. We did it together. As the cosmic wave passed Earth, the planet remained unharmed. The skies glowed with a beautiful light, and people around the world looked up and wondered. In the days that followed, news of strange lights and unexplained phenomena spread. But for Liana and Darian, the true miracle was the bond they had formed. Their marriage, born from a contract and money, had grown into something much greater, a partnership of trust, hope, and love. Liana knew their journey was far from over. The universe was vast and full of mysteries. But with Darian by her side, she felt ready to face whatever came next. Together, they stood on the rooftop garden, watching the stars with new eyes. The future was uncertain, but they would face it as one. The days after the cosmic event passed slowly. The world seemed calm again, but Liana and Darian knew that peace was fragile. The alien protectors had answered their call, but their presence was still a mystery. Earth had changed, and so had they. Liana stood on the rooftop garden, feeling the cool breeze on her face. The city lights flickered below, but her thoughts were far away. She looked at Darian, who stood beside her, silent but steady. Do you think they will come back? She asked softly. Darian's eyes looked toward the stars. I don't know. But I believe they are watching. Liana smiled. We did what we could. Together, he nodded. Yes, together. For months, they worked to rebuild trust between Earth and the unknown protectors. They shared the knowledge they had gained, helping to prepare humanity for the future. But with every step forward, Darian grew quieter. Liana noticed the sadness behind his strong eyes, the weight of immortality and the long years he had lived. One night, as they sat in the secret room, Darian finally spoke. Liana, I have a choice to make. She looked at him, concern in her heart. What choice? I was created to protect Earth, but now with the network activated, my mission is complete. I can stay with you, or I can leave and continue to. Watch from afar, Liana felt a rush of emotion. I want you to stay, Darian smiled sadly. You have given me more than I ever expected: hope, love, and trust. But I am not like other humans. I cannot live a normal life. Liana reached for his hand. We don't need normal, we need each other. He looked into her eyes and saw the truth, the strength and kindness she carried. For the first time, he felt truly human. After a long silence, Darian made his decision. I will stay. Not because I must, but because I want to. Liana's heart soared. The mansion, once a place of secrets and loneliness, was now a home filled with light. Together they continued their work, preparing humanity for the mysteries of the universe. They shared their story quietly, inspiring hope and courage. Their marriage, which began as a contract for money and protection, had grown into a bond of true love. And as they stood on the rooftop, watching the stars, Liana knew that no matter what came next, they would face it together. The future was uncertain, but with Darian by her side, she was ready, because sometimes the greatest secrets lead to the most unexpected and beautiful beginnings.